Mabuhay, Kamustika, welcome, how are you? This is Bob from Love Beyond the Sea. This video is part of a playlist that will be called Expat Trial Run. Before I left the Philippines, the first time I went there for the purpose of marrying my wife, her mother asked me if I would be back someday to the Philippines. My answer was an honest, no, I doubt it. It is too far away and the trip has been very hard on my back. I was being sincere. I couldn't see myself going through the 4 flights just to get there and seemingly endless trip risking severe back discomfort in the heat of the Philippines. I was okay with my wife going back to visit, but I felt like the first time was going to be the last time for me. And that was in 2015, but things have changed. Subscribe to Love Beyond the Sea to learn what it's like being married to a Filipina, a woman from the Philippines. Get notifications for upcoming videos and subscribe to the newsletter for the next live stream and more. Comments are welcome here and in the community corner chat forums. Wouldn't you know it, only 15 months later, which was 7 months after my wife arrived in America, we both vacationed in the Philippines. I was prepared with pain meds and resolved to relax and find a way to sleep on the planes. I don't recall exactly why we went back so soon, but perhaps that can be chalked up to her missing her family. I also don't recall putting up much resistance to making another trip to the Philippines, despite the reasons I had for not returning that I voiced the first time I was there. Going this time would be a lot different because I would not be doing it alone. I discovered my wife was adept at handling all the airport necessities. Wonderfully, my back didn't hurt and the flights didn't seem quite as lengthy, but I didn't sleep any better. We saw her family a lot again and returned to the place of our honeymoon, which was Eden Nature Park. We also took in People's Park in Davao. It was a nice vacation, which went by all too quickly. I became open to returning again someday, and this was back in 2016. We vacationed in Paris, a dream vacation for my wife, in 2017 for our second honeymoon, but in June of 2018 we went again to the Philippines for about 3 weeks or so we could attend her brother's wedding and be there for her mother's birthday. My back didn't hurt this time either, and I think I turned a corner in the ability to relax and not think too much about the length of the trip. I realized I could work on YouTube video topics while on the plane. Overall, it is almost a day and a half of travel, including 4 flights just to get there, and remarkably, I was able to enjoy, to some degree, the actual process of the travel, not just reaching the destination. I was able to nod off now and then too. I kept reminding myself that there isn't anything I can do to make the experience go any faster, and that weather was out of my control. So I just tried to relax and enjoy the process of getting into and out of the planes, finding where we needed to go, and sitting at the waiting area for the boarding lineup. My wife again is very good at getting us through all the stops. The last trip we arrived at the Davao airport around 3 a.m. and we were greeted by a large number of my wife's family, including the 1- and 2-year-old children. It was tearful and emotional and a lot of hugs to go around, including for me. Normally, we were met at the airport by a family member and took a taxi to her family's home. Likewise, on our last day, we got to the airport about the same time in the morning, and pretty much the whole family was with us again, also with hugs and tears. I asked my wife why it was different this time, and she thought it was because her family was getting used to me. So that made it 3 times in 4 years. We just begun construction on a house we were building for her parents, some siblings, and for my wife and I when we visit, and that we would live in if we retired there. I have a video called Our Gift to Our Filipino Family that shows the land and the initial work being done, and then other videos show the construction at different stages. Naturally, we want to live in it and see what that is like, so we were thinking about going to the Philippines after Christmas this year, 2019, for 3 weeks. Now that would make it 4 times in 5 years. Maybe another marriage could be arranged for us to attend, like the one for her brother. My wife left for America the day after her sister got married, so my wife has not missed a wedding yet. How could it be that I am so eager to go through the 4 flights, day and a half travel, and all that sitting around and not even have to think about it? Just the heat of the Philippines is enough to make me want to avoid going, but I am warming up to the idea of even living there at retirement, which, Lord willing, might be after I turn 62. Now, here are some reasons I can think of why there is this big shift in perception. Number one, it's less expensive to live in the Philippines. By then, our pension and 401k should be higher. We could sell our house for additional money. The Social Security money would be, pretty good at that age. It would drop to next to nothing when I die, but then my wife could reapply for it when she is 60 for better benefits. Number two, the more I think about it, the more I like the idea of living in this house, which is about 10 minutes from the beach, the mall, and her family, other family members. There are a lot of trees surrounding the property right now, making for a very pleasing view. Eventually, it would have air conditioning in case there wasn't global cooling affecting the Philippines by then. Number three, our family here is very small. By the time I retire, I may only have one cousin left to call family. My wife, number four, has said she doesn't want to stay in America when I die because she wouldn't know a lot of people or have many of my family around. Number five, the way I look at it, couldn't I give the remaining few years of my life to my wife by living in the Philippines with her? I believe she will continue to take great care of me. Remember, her family would be living with us in this house that we built and Aiza designed. There are pros and cons to that, which will be the subject of another video. I don't know why, but that seems like a good thing. Try living with her family. She might have to take care of all of us, but I'm sure she could. Number six, because life is less expensive there and our house in the Philippines would be paid for, we could have more opportunity and time to travel. If she has her U.S. citizenship, she can travel pretty much anywhere without having to get a short-term visa. Number seven, the underlying factor in this is that the longer I am married to my amazing Aiza, the more I want to please her and be with her. She's an incredible wife, an amazing woman. I know she wants to be around her family. And trust me, she appreciates what she has here in America. She really does. But I think her perfect world would be for us to be with her family in the Philippines. I have always wondered what is best for her. I don't mind sacrificing for her. She changed my life in a moment on May 10th, 2015 when we got married. And we could go to Eden Nature Park anytime we wanted to, which is such a beautiful place in addition to being where we had our honeymoon. My wife could be with her many friends and family. I have many acquaintances at work, but not a whole lot of male friends there. My main friend is my wife. There are two other things to think about with all this. One of them is medical care. Should I need a major surgery, we would have to have a plan. Annually, I get screened for glaucoma ever since I had a problem with an optic nerve and have more cupping, I believe is the term, that a person would normally have. Things haven't changed, in the last 4 years, but it is advised I get an eye specialist to evaluate this every year and start me on eye drops if necessary. Could this screening still be done in the Philippines? I've gotten a lot of surgeries out of the way already, and have been able to come off my meds. On the other side of the coin, I believe my wife could get better health care here in America, but she would prefer to live in the Philippines. The second thing is that perhaps it is possible we could live half the time in the Philippines and 6 months in America. I think my wife and I could agree to do that, but then again, how much would it cost to leave our house unattended for that long? What are the logistics for that? It would be simpler to just be in the Philippines full time, but maybe that would be a little bit overwhelming at first for me. Another option is to buy a small condo to store what we could in it and come back annually for a month or two. That would be less expensive, give us an emergency escape plan if necessary. When I married in 2015, I would not have considered moving to the Philippines, but this time at least I have experienced being there for several periods of time and know what to expect. Maybe I just need to visit there a few more times and then it will all become clearer. There's still time to get some answers to medical questions. I can get Medicare, but that has to be taken out at 65. I think it's not even quite $140 a month today. But I would have to return to America for the treatment. So I'm open to retiring in the Philippines with my love beyond the sea.